Gary Parrish here with Dusty May, head coach at Michigan. It's year 2 now. In year 1, you win the Big Ten tournament. You go to the Sweet 16. What, if anything, did you learn about the Big Ten in year 1?
Well, it's as difficult as we anticipated. The coaching, the environments, and obviously the talent in the league was exceptional. And so it feels like we've been here much longer than 1 year because of all that.
As it pertains to conference tournaments specifically, I've talked to some coaches over the years, and some say, hey, it's just a thing in between the end of the regular season and the NCAA tournament. I don't prioritize it that much. Others have said, if we got a trophy and we're playing for it, I want to win it. What's your approach? What did it mean to you to hold that trophy?
To go into a tournament like the Big Ten tournament with 14 teams, all of them NCAA caliber, and even a few that weren't in the Big Ten tournament were on the bubble until the very end, and to play three Sweet 16 teams to win a championship, we'll take it.
Yeah. So you have a successful first season. Obviously, in this era of college basketball, you have to rebuild immediately, almost regardless of who you are or where you're at. You get into the transfer portal and are able to put together pretty quickly one of the best transfer classes in the country, and it's headlined by a guy 24/7 Sports has labeled as the best transfer in the country. That's Axel Lindenborg, who comes to you from UAB. Why did you prioritize him in the way that you did?
Well, the first reason is because we played against him, and so we knew his impact in the game went beyond his numbers, his ability to get loose basketballs, to be a matchup problem 1 through 5. We just felt like he fit us, and then obviously I want to give our guys on last year's team a lot of credit. The way they played the game, the way they interacted with each other, and as we know, when these players go into the portal, they talk to your current players, and so if you're able to help them get better and maximize their abilities, then typically that helps out. But we knew how good he was because we competed against him.
I imagine it hasn't always been that way, where you're coaching against an opponent and you're thinking in terms on some level of, is this somebody I could have in my program someday? You've now been doing this long enough where you've been a part of the sport where you really just prioritized high school prospects and try to develop them over time. Now it's a little bit of plug and play through the transfer portal. How much has it changed your approach just to everything that has to do with your job?
It's just changed the approach that you just have to watch more basketball to have a feel, because when guys go into the portal, you have to quick strike, or a lot of them already know where they're going.
Right.
But you have to be ready to go, and you have to be decisive in your evaluation. So it's different. The transfer portal is not new. There were a lot of schools using it before, and I've coached a lot of really good players that sat out a year and use that advantageously to make themselves better. But the immediate eligibility, everyone's on a 1-year contract essentially, and so you have to stay flexible and liquid, and more importantly, you have to invest in your own guys, because I think retention is going to be paramount going forward for us.
Do you have a preferred route going into homes, recruiting high school players, getting to know the parents, developing over years, or at the end of every season, let's just go find the best college basketball players we can find to get them to Ann Arbor? Do you prefer one way or the other?
I think we've signed, or in the process of signing, we will sign 5 to 10 freshmen in a 2-year window.
Okay.
And so I think that shows how we really feel about it. I think the transfer portal is how we once looked at junior college players when I was at UAB and Louisiana Tech and FAU, that if it's an immediate plug and play and they have an opportunity to bring success from day one, then we want to plug those guys in. But obviously when you're bringing in sophomores, we can't recruit juniors. So when you're bringing in a player that's been in college 2 years, their expectations are going to be at least in the rotation. They're not coming in to be a take your time and develop guy like a high school player might be at times. So it's different in every situation. We want to build our roster through high school players, but if we need, our job is also to win. The goal is to win and win championships, so we are going to have to plug and play with the portal every year. Another
guy you bring in, Elliot Cadeau from North Carolina, obviously a big name, heralded recruit. He's played at one of the Blue Blood programs. Since you've had him on campus, what have you learned about him?
Well, he's an elite competitor. He matches our competitive spirit as a program. He makes his teammates better every day. His ability to get us easy shots, to generate easy baskets, to push tempo. He's feisty, he's scrappy, he fits us, and we think the situation around him will allow him to play at his best.
I don't know if you follow the Candid Coaches series that we do at CBSSports.com, but your name came up a lot this year. We asked more than 100 college coaches 8 different questions, and when we asked them, who's the best X's and O's coach in the country, and also who's the next guy who's going to win his first national championship. You were in the top 8 vote getters in both of those questions. What, if anything, does that mean to you?
I don't think it means that when you draw something up, your players can execute and make the basket and make you look good as a coach. I have a lot of respect for our profession, so I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't make you feel good when your peers who you respect the hell out of say nice things about you, but it doesn't really matter. I just honored to be a part of this profession.
I read a story a couple days ago at, I believe it was maizenbrew.com, about how throughout your success at FAU and now Michigan, you've done it in a variety of ways, but haven't really had a lot of lob threats. And yet that has changed this season with the class that you've enrolled. What will fans notice differently about your offense as it pertains to that?
Well, just our ability to put pressure on the rim, above the rim, is going to be a welcome addition to how we play with Adai Mara, Malik Cordell, Merez Johnson are 3 that we've probably had more dunks in the first week of practice than we had all year last year, and we were built differently as well. But just that ability to cause an overreaction with dunks. Dunks aren't just 2 points, in our opinion. They cause an overreaction defensively. They ignite the spirit of a building. So we think that's really going to be able to ignite our defense and also just allow us to get better threes as well.
Every year until it happens again, people are going to point out that the Big Ten has not won a national championship since 2000. Is that something that matters to you?
Absolutely. I'm a Big Ten guy. I take a lot of pride in this conference. And so, yeah, if we're not in it, I'm going to be rooting for a Big Ten team to be and to win a national championship, but hopefully it's us.
Well, that's interesting because I got into a conversation with Matt Norlander on the Eye on College Basketball podcast about this specifically, because in the SEC, there does seem to be like everybody hates each other, but big picture, they start rooting for each other in baseball NCAA tournaments, basketball NCAA tournaments, even a college football playoff. The SEC chant is always there. Do you think that's similar in the Big Ten? I know you say that if you're not in it, you would root for another Big Ten school, whether it's Purdue or Michigan State or Indiana. Be careful, by the way. I don't want to get you in trouble with your fans. But do you think that's common? Do you think most coaches would root for the other people in their league if they're not involved anymore?
Coming up in Conference USA and in the American Conference, I think the camaraderie is different. I think we were all truly rooting for each other. At our level, it's probably guys are recruiting more for their cliques or whoever they are closest with in the business. So I wouldn't say it's as unanimous as it would be at different levels, but I think there's certainly some of that in our league. I actually had to text our athletic director, Ward Manuel, last year. There's a situation where I felt like an Ohio State win would be good for the Big Ten in football. And I said, am I allowed to root for Ohio State for 3 hours? I can't remember his response, but we had a good laugh about it.
I bet I can guess. Last thing before I get you out of here, there's a lot of expectations connected to your basketball team this season. You're expected to be good. What does success look like to you?
Gary, we play such a tough schedule, and a lot's being made of the Dukes and the Villanovas and all those guys on our schedule, the Players Era tournament. But we play McNeese State, we play Middle Tennessee State, we play some really good non-Power 4 conference teams that could challenge us. So every night we're going to be battle tested. We're going to have great stamina to make it through that and the Big Ten travel and Big Ten season. So I don't really look that far. We have championship aspirations. I'm not going to shy away from that, but we have so much work to do, and the journey's so long that that's it. Just win championships. We have 3 opportunities: Big Ten tournament, and NCAA.
Hey, it's good to see you on this morning. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, GP. Appreciate it.